guns in the car?
The U.S. war on drugs is fought on multiple fronts.
They're accused of smuggling cocaine and heroin into the U.S.,
costing billions of dollars a year.
Public enemy number one is drug abuse.
It's been more than 4 decades since President Nixon's speech. And the stories we've seen play out on the news since then about one drug epidemic or another almost always look the same. 2 years ago, the latest front-page story was a heroin outbreak in Vermont.
The crisis is heroin. The state is Vermont.
It's Vermont.
Vermont, of all places.
Journalists flocked to the Green Mountain State, and I was one of them.
so this is where people come to get their heroin.
Yeah.
But we decided to see what happens when the attention fades. For almost 2 years, we followed one man's struggle from addiction
I'd become a person that they don't even know.
If I didn't have children, I probably wouldn't be here.
to recovery,
I feel like I have a second chance.
Good catch.
This is your father with Poppy?
and spent time with families on both ends of the heroin trade, following the drug routes from Vermont
Heroin addiction, it's the new norm.
to the poppy fields and the guerrilla-controlled regions of Colombia.
This is pretty crazy.
Move it out. Move it out.
We have to get out of here as soon as we can.
This is the Heroin Trail. My journey down the Heroin Trail started almost 2 years ago in the small town of Rutland. Population 16,000. This idyllic place in the foothills of Vermont's Green Mountains was being transformed by America's heroin crisis. I showed up during one of the worst snowstorms of the season, and that's when I first met Justin Bemis.
My childhood was really good, so I kind of wanted the same experience for my children, but the town's kind of gone to shit.
In recent years, Vermont's highways have become drug trafficking corridors, with an estimated $2 million worth of heroin flowing into the state every week.
So this is where people come to get their heroin.
And that's funny because the courthouse is right there.
There's a sheriff's car right behind it.
People can walk and meet easily, you know, do a quick little handoff. Nobody will really notice.
Nearly every family who lives here has been touched by the heroin epidemic.
There's been a lot of deaths from bad heroin. Everybody's been afflicted by it one way or another. Good families, bad families. It's got a grasp on this town like I've never seen.
But when I visited Justin and his family at home, everything still seemed picture perfect,
You just want butter, right, honey? Yeah? Okay.
right out of a Norman Rockwell painting.
You guys have never seen any of these. That was Daddy's first big buck.
But beneath the surface, this father of 4 was wrestling with a deadly secret.
It's very embarrassing. It makes me sick to my stomach.
Justin had been a heroin addict for 3 years and let us film this.
You're the only people that's ever seen me do this. And here I am. I hope you don't think any different of me after seeing this, because it's nasty. In probably 10 minutes from now, I'm going to be thinking about how I can get it again. That quick.
What do you see when you look in the mirror?
Not me. I see somebody that has basically given up because of his drug use. It's kind of taken my spirit and squashed it. Like that spark I had is gone. And I just want it back. I want to be me again. I'm not me.
Like 4 out of 5 heroin addicts, Justin got hooked on prescription drugs first, after he injured his back, working as a tree cutter. But when doctors cut him off the expensive drug, he found a cheaper alternative.
These are the track marks from
Yes.
the heroin.
Anywhere else?
Everywhere. You know, if you look up and down my arms, it's disgusting. If you ever asked me if I'd ever touch a needle in my life, absolutely not. It is that powerful.
This is Justin, how old?
Probably early 30s.
He looks so healthy here.
Oh, yeah.
These are Justin's parents,
Your favorite.
Art and Linda Bemis.
This is all
All the kids?
the kids, and there's Justin right there. They all look so happy and healthy.
Believe it or not, Justin was not their only child with a heroin problem. 5 of their 6 kids have struggled with drug addiction.
Jordan, Zachary, heroin, Justin, opiates, pain meds, Amy, alcohol, pain meds.
If there's a drug, you name it, I've probably done it.
I was a full-blown heroin addict.
When was the last time?
Last week,
How much?
bag.
Do you ever look at yourselves and say, what did we do wrong?
Oh, yeah.
Every other
I
day.
do.
Every
Yeah.
other day we talk about it. What could we have done?
What is it? What could we have done different?
Do you ever feel like you're enabling this drug habit?
I think that if anyone was an enabler in the family, it's me. But as far as supporting with drugs, then try not to anymore.
But when you look at their addiction, when you look at Justin, is there anything that you guys think you could do differently to not enable, to not allow him to keep doing heroin?
No, I mean, my thing is just don't give the money, but I mean, obviously he was finding ways of taking things and getting money anyways.
Why do you give him money?
Because I love them unconditionally.
Of all their children, Justin was doing the worst.
I'm broken. And I don't want to break my family.
He wanted to quit and signed up for a state-funded treatment program, but the demand for treatment in Vermont has spiked nearly 800% since 2000. Like hundreds of addicts, Justin had been waiting for weeks.
There's so many drug addicts. There's so many. There's not enough doctors, not enough treatment centers right now to handle the overload.
He says the government's money would be better spent on treatment than law enforcement.
There's so many people who are in prison now that didn't have to be. There were good people with good careers and got hooked on painkillers and got cut off and went to the streets to get them, and boom.
The governor says that police are necessary to bust people because they need to round up the drug addicts and get them into treatment. But do you feel that's what's happening?
No, I don't. They're getting thrown in jail, but they could do 30 busts in this town and I can still get as much as I want.
So it's a waste of money.
Total waste of money. Basically, you might as well just take it and burn it, because that's all they're doing.
Justin told me he burned through his life savings, spending $120,000 on heroin.
You gave your parents your money so that you wouldn't spend it on drugs.
Right, but then when they wouldn't give it to me, I'd become very volatile. I'd become a person that they don't even know. I'd become a beast, you know?
Over the years, everything that we've ever had as far as personal items, jewelry, money, checkbooks, all gone, hundreds of thousands.
Stolen
Stolen.
from your own kids.
Yep.
Justin told us that he actually gave his money to you guys
Right.
so that he would stop buying drugs.
Right.
He still has to spend $500 a day sometimes.
Correct.
How does that affect you?
Well, it's very difficult because then, on the other hand, he's threatened us because he wants the money. You wouldn't want to even listen to the phone calls.
Do you have your phone?
Fine.
Again?
I already told them.
I'm so mad at you guys right now. You have no idea. I want my money. Send me up a couple $100 so I don't have to sell your because I will sell it. I need a ride before I kill your wife because I will do it and kill myself. I'm at my wit's end. Answer the phone.
That's going through
That's
major
serious.
withdrawals.
That's serious.
He's threatening to kill you. When you heard that message, were you scared?
No. I don't think he'd do it.
How does it feel to hear you threaten your dad and your mom?
I can't believe it. Just hearing that out loud. I can't believe I said that.
As horrible as the voicemails sound, Art and Linda say they never felt their lives were in danger. With so many addicts on the waiting list for treatment, and heroin supply flowing into Vermont like never before, I wondered if there was any hope for Justin and his family. Coming up, Justin at his breaking point.